Tim's News Explosion. 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 Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of Tim's News Explosion, coming to you on a Thursday, the 9th of November, 2021. As regulars, viewers of this show, those in the chat will have noticed that there was no Monday show. I couldn't stream because I had yet another internet outage, but this time it was only for a week, not like earlier in the second half of this year when my internet was out for 2 weeks, and so I couldn't do shows for 2 weeks. But I'm back with a makeup Tim's News Explosion, like I was back with a makeup Trad Tasman talk with Stephen Berry last night. As always, we are live on the Wilmsfront YouTube and DLive channels, as well as on the interactive Entropy software, where you can send through a direct question, or even better yet, send through a super chat. It is 8:30 p.m. here in Melbourne, Victoria, where the latest patch of La Nina wet summer weather appears to be over for now, with some scorching sunshine for the next week. So I'll finally be able to hang my washing out on the line and get them to dry naturally, which is good for those little housework jobs. Now, obviously, down under here in the southern hemisphere, we are entering into what we assume will be summer, but it's going to be a wet and wild one, as I mentioned, with the La Nina. But with summer comes there is less opportunities for respiratory viruses like COVID-19 and its never-ending Greek alphabet soup of variants to spread. But in the northern hemisphere, they are going into their very cold winter, which of course is when, respiratory viruses like COVID, like the flu, spread, but we have seen, despite of their vaccine rollouts in the mainland European nations, they've reintroduced restrictions, masks, vaccine mandates and passports, and even in Austria, a 3-week lockdown with mandatory vaccines by February next year. Austria will get out of, I think it's locked down in a few days. The last holdout for resisting the media and scientific community alarmism to introduce winter restrictions, apart from Sweden, of course. Sweden will never capitulate or cuck, but the last holdout was the UK. Boris Johnson and his government, his Health Secretary Sajid Javid, had been under a mainstream media and scientific alarmism campaign since October to implement its Plan B winter restrictions. Or they really jumped the gun back in October, the mainstream media over there and the scientific alarmists saying, it might be too late for Plan B, might need Plan C, winter lockdowns all over again. That's part of this, what's called a vaccine plus strategy. Basically, vaccine plus all the restrictions that didn't do much the first time around. So what was the point of the vaccine if you're just going to have vaccine plus all the restrictions that you had before the vaccines there? But Boris Johnson has capitulated, cucked, and introduced Plan B for a month, the beginning of winter, which includes working from home, more masks. So in cinemas, the theatre, as well as he'd already introduced it in retail and public transport, and also vaccine passports in large venues. Now, his sudden U-turn on Plan B basically occurred yesterday, Australian time, because there'd been this rumored story bubbling along that, last UK Christmas was cancelled at the last minute, but in the lead up to Christmas, November and December, they had those tiered restrictions. And so there's been these rumors bubbling along that there are a lot of Downing Street number 10 illicit parties, Christmas parties. Now, they'll just they've just been rumors, but it really blew up yesterday when Boris introduced Plan B. It was supposed to be a momentous day for his government and his Health Secretary Sajid Javid, because it was the 1-year anniversary of the first Pfizer dose. But instead, leaked to ITV was this footage from. I'm surprised it stayed secret for a year. This footage of Boris Johnson's then media spokesperson Allegra Strutton, who was his climate advisor. This was leaked footage of her briefing the media about whether or not there was this Christmas party last year.
I've just seen reports on Twitter that there was a Downing Street Christmas party on Friday night. Do you recognise those reports?
I went home. Hold on.
Would the Prime Minister condone having a Christmas party?
What's the answer?
I don't know.
It wasn't a party, it was cheese and wine.
Just be clear, it's not.
Is cheese and wine all right? No. It was a business meeting.
I'm joking.
This is recorded. This fictional party was a business meeting. And it was not socially distanced. One more, and then ask anybody have any questions today?
Now, the full footage of this Prime Minister's spokesperson, Allegra Strutton, laughing with the media about a fictional, not Christmas party, business meeting. She said, "I hope this isn't being recorded." She forgot one of the key Yes Minister rules is that speaking into any microphone as if it were a live microphone there. And yes, she and the media thought it was really hilarious to joke, no, there was no breach of COVID rules in this business meeting with cheese and wine. But she is the first sacrificial lamb to save Boris Johnson from embarrassment with her tearful resignation overnight.
The British people have made immense sacrifices in the ongoing battle against COVID-19. I now fear that my comments in the leaked video of the 20th of December last year have become a distraction in that fight. My remarks seemed to make light of the rules that people were doing everything to obey. That was never my intention. I will regret those remarks for the rest of my days, and I offer my profound apologies to all of you at home for them. Working in government is an immense privilege. I tried to do right by you all, to behave with civility and decency, and act to the high standards you expect of number 10, rightly expect of number 10. I will always be proud of what was achieved at COP26 in Glasgow and the progress that was made on coal cars, cash and trees. This country and the Prime Minister's leadership on climate change and on nature will make a lasting difference to the whole world. It has been an honour to play a part in that. I understand the anger and frustration that people feel. To all of you who lost loved ones, who endured intolerable loneliness, and who struggled with your businesses, I am truly sorry. And this afternoon, I am offering my resignation to the Prime Minister. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, she's deeply regretful about her comments and that she never wanted to make light of the sacrifices there. Obviously, only sorry that she got caught there. But this is since the discovery in South Africa of the Omicron variant, the capitulation and cucking of the UK government began a week and a half ago with the travel ban from from those southern African nations, and more pre and post departure testing, and also the masks in retail and retail and public transport, I should say. And also another knee-jerk reaction was the Health Secretary Sajid Javid. Despite the fact that they didn't know whether the vaccines work against Omicron, they halved the time in between the administering the booster shots from 6 months to 3 months.
JCVI published its advice in the last hour. First, it advised that the minimum dose interval for booster jabs should be halved from 6 months to 3 months. Second, that the booster program should be expanded to include all remaining adults aged 18 and above. Third, that these boosters should be offered by age group in a descending order to protect those who are most vulnerable to the virus. So priority will be given to older adults and people over 16 who are at risk. Fourth, that severely immunosuppressed people aged 16 or above who've received 3 primary doses should now also be offered a booster dose. Finally, that children aged between 12 and 15 should be given a second dose 12 weeks from the first dose. I have accepted this advice in full. With this new variant on the offensive, these measures will protect more people more quickly and make us better protected as a nation.
Yes, so that was a week and a half ago. They boosted the booster program, and careful you didn't run into Sajid Javid outside a booster the booster clinic. They are actually now in the UK GPs. They're suspending their 6-month checkup appointments on those over the age of 75. Apparently that's not important to save granny and grandma by screening her for other conditions apart from COVID, but to just keep jabbing people with the booster. That's why I call him Sajid Javid. But careful you don't run into him outside a booster vaccination hub, because he'll basically try and drag you in.
Have you got boosted yet?
No, I'm 64 and I've still not had it.
You have? Why not?
Well, partly because I got COVID at the Hartlepool by-election.
You should be okay now.
And so I didn't have my second till the 14th of June. So under the 6-month rule, that takes to the 14th of December.
But under the new rule, you'll be okay.
Yeah, exactly.
You come back here later this week.
Yeah. What time do they open here?
They open till 8, I think.
Oh, right.
In fact, they might give it to you now if you walk in.
You think so?
Yeah.
I'm going to go back to work, though.
No, do it. Can you make me a promise?
Sorry?
Make me a promise. Just go and do it now.
I'll see.
Go on.
See if I can be back in the
Bonus.
office.
No, just I'll tell the office. You tell them. You go in. Do you want me to go with you?
Can I go and get my job?
No, come on. I'll walk in with you. Come on. Let's do it.
Oh, gosh.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm calm. I'll do it.
Come on in, Sajid Javid says. Come on, yeah, do it. I'll walk you in. Come on, promise me. Do me a favor. Even though he'd already had 2, not just the double jabs, but also had COVID, so had that extra natural immunity there. But Sajid Javid is just like, yeah, come on in. Yeah, we changed the rules, so yeah, just come on in. He's basically like, a car salesman or one of those timeshare salesmen. It was quite a disturbing footage there. But obviously, Australia has a booster program as well. But our ATAGI group, you heard Sajid Javid mention the the JCVI, which is the Joint Committee on Vaccines and Immunizations. That's their vaccine advisory body. We have a TAGI over here. I got my letter today from Scott Morrison, Greg Hunt, and the Chief Medical Officer, Paul Kelly, getting me to think about my COVID-19 vaccine booster. And also you get in the mail as well, the COVID, basically encouraging you to write down where your family's booster doses are due. You get this piece of paper as well, but it's not a personalized letter, so it doesn't really have the same creepy, stalkish impact that it already does if it was personally addressed to you, because it just says on the front, it says to the householder. Look, it doesn't even have your name and address there. So I assume just Australia Post or just the government is just just mass mailing them out. Colin Penfold's, someone in the UK glued a vaccine centre door shut and they went to jail for 5 years for it. Yes, apparently they prevented 200 vaccines there. Now, over in Germany, where cases are beginning to, they've already started surging and continue to do so. Germany now has a new chancellor, Olaf Scholz, from the Social Democratic Party. He's part of what's called a traffic light coalition with the German Greens and the classical liberal Free Democrats Party. So obviously the Greens are green color. The classical Liberal Party are yellow, so it's like a traffic light coalition. So that ends, Angela Merkel, she wasn't seeking re-election, ends her 16-year reign as German Chancellor. Her parting policy implementation was further rolling out the COVID vaccine passport system. They're even talking about mandatory vaccines as well. And they gave Angela Merkel, the Germans, a send-off, which was a Reich out of the history books. Yes, looks like a Nuremberg rally 2.0 there, that send off to Angela Merkel, which basically segues, I made a connotation to Nazi Germany, and I'll segue to probably Australia's greatest admirer of Nazi Germany, the National Socialist Network's Thomas Sowell. Was granted bail and released from prison today after a Melbourne County Court judge, after a week of arguments, decided that there was no positive. This is the XYZ article here. So obviously David Hiscock, a known member, editor of the XYZ, a known member of the National Socialist Network here. Obviously David has his own bias here, as does the age here. It says bail for neo-Nazi leader as he awaits trial for alleged hiker assault. It says here this goes into more detail, the Age article, which David could have mentioned in his article. Detective Acting Sergeant Michael Taylor of Victoria Police's Counter-Terrorism Unit said on Monday investigators were concerned Mr. Sewell had a large online following, and even though he's banned from everywhere except Telegram, and if granted bail, he could have the hikers targeted before the trial. Some of Mr. Sewell's supporters watched this week's online hearings. But on Thursday, Judge Peter Loritzin granted bail after he found Mr. Sewell's application met the criteria for exceptional circumstances, as the accused man had already spent 6 months on remand and was unlikely to face trial until 2023 at the earliest. The impact of COVID-19 has caused delays through Victoria's courts. The judge was also not satisfied Mr. Sewell posed an unacceptable risk of offending and endangering the public if granted bail, as his father, Anthony, had offered him a place to stay and a $10,000 surety. Anthony Sewell told the court he was a person who plays the game by the rules and will contact police if his son breached his bail conditions. Police say the neo-Nazis ran to the car. This is in the Cathedral Ranges, when one saw a hiker filming them and yelled Antifa, but there is no suggestion that the hikers were connected to the left-wing anti-fascist movement. You mean left-wing terrorist violent movement. So yes, Thomas Sewell, he will be home for Christmas. Neil Erickson, Senator Slayer, he provided updates on his channel today. I saw that the National Socialist Network channel was triumphant, talking that Thomas Sewell will be able to take part in Australia's White Boy Summer. There is no bail restrictions on Thomas Sewell's internet speech like there was for his co-accused Jacob Hersnert. So I don't know whether he will make a video just talking about his experiences in prison. Obviously, he's not going to talk too much about the case, since it's going to be before the courts for a long time yet. Margot says, amazing it's on mainstream media. His jailing wasn't on mainstream media. Yes, it was. It was obviously the mainstream media were happy that he was on remand, and also, Tom Sewell is a good boogeyman to show that the Nazis are on the rise. I mean, Nick McKenzie of 60 Minutes and The Age got two programs out, 60 Minutes features out of the National Socialist Network, and also about 4 or 5 Age articles, and then obviously good boogeyman for people like Devere Abramovich to say that, look, there's so much Nazi activity going on in Melbourne. So that was one of the local, you could call it trials, or was as a bail hearing that was happening this week. Overseas, we have the trial of Jeffrey Epstein, the deceased known pedophile billionaire. So it is day 8 of Ghislaine Maxwell's trial, she helped procure the young teenage girls for Jeffrey Epstein's sexual pleasure, and also some of the other rich people who flew to his island on his private jet. Now, the main blogger of this is the Patriot Tone on Substack, patriottone.substack.com, the Free Press Report. They were trying to communicate on Twitter through the Maxwell trial tracker, but it was suspended. The Maxwell trial tracker. If I just go to, this is where you should go to get, here it is here. Yeah, so the Maxwell trial tracker violated Twitter's rules against platform manipulation and spam there. So yes, that Twitter didn't like the constant updates that the account was having on the Ghislaine Maxwell trial. And now, so the trial has heard, well, the prosecution witnesses, they have featured Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell's alleged victims, some people who worked in their child sex trafficking ring. There is no more real smoking guns which connects like new elite people to Jeffrey Epstein's island or private jets. Obviously, we know about Epstein and Maxwell's relationships with Bill Clinton, Bill Gates, Donald Trump, Paul Keating's daughter. And we've already seen all the names in Jeffrey Epstein's Black Book as well. Also taking place this week is the trial of alleged race hate crime hoaxer actor Jussie Smollett, which now this is quite the trial there. Now, Ghislaine Maxwell, she's pled not guilty to all charges. Jussie Smollett has also pleaded not guilty to all charges that he staged the race hoax crime. So he took the stand and he admitted he did drugs and masturbated with his attacker there. So this is Vice News. They called it a bizarre trial. So it says that Smollett said that during a visit to a bathhouse with Amibola, which is one of the Nigerian brothers who he allegedly paid to stage the fake race hate crime, Abelo Osodero, one of the two brothers Smollett is accused of paying to beat him up, yell racist slurs and pour bleach on him. We went alone. We got a private room. We made out a little, and this time we masturbated together. Smollett also testified that after he met Osodero at a club, they made out and did drugs during a different bathhouse interaction in Boys Town. The ex-Empire star's testimony built on the defense line of questioning last week, when one attorney for Smollett dramatically asked Osodero, a major witness for the prosecution, when he'd started dating Smollett. Osodero said he never did. Now, even though, Smollett made out and got one of the brothers to masturbate him, part of the justification that it was part of his defense that it's still a race hate crime is that his attorneys have sought to show jurors the brothers are untrustworthy and possibly homophobic. And so the $3,500 check that the jury saw last week that the prosecutor said was payment for his brother's help in staging a hate crime was for physical training from Osodero ahead of a music video, his defense lawyers said. Oh, I forgot to put the Vice article up here. I just realized there, but I read it all out for you there. So yes, very graphic details there of Smollett's degeneracy there, and yes, he is his relations with one of the Nigerian brothers before the alleged fake race crime happened. Now there was going back to Australia. There has been an alleged Nazi hate crime against a Black Lives Matter supporter in Sydney. Paddy Gibson, you might remember him from when he tried to unsuccessfully stage a Black Lives Matter 2.0 rally in Sydney when the Melbourne COVID second wave had arrived in Sydney. Black Lives Black Lives Matter rally organizer and University of Technology researcher Paddy Gibson said 3 skinheads smashed a window when he refused their demands to come outside during that terrifying Saturday night encounter. Police said they're investigating malicious damage at a Sydney home. Shortly after 7:30 p.m, Saturday 4th of December, 3 men attended an address at Wollongong Road, Arncliffe, demanding to speak with the occupant. They said in a statement issued on Sunday evening. Police were told the men then smashed the window before fleeing on foot. Mr. Gibson, who said his wife was home at the time but his children were at his parents' house, said he'd received death threats from the far right, but not for a while. Well, nobody remembered who he was until, well, this alleged Nazi hate attack happened. So my family, this is him on Twitter. My family home was attacked by Nazis last night. 3 skinheads with Eureka flag shirts came to the door shouting my name, demanding I come out. When I didn't, they attempted to force entry, kicked hard on the door, ripped the security girl the window and smashed it in. So Mr. Gibson said it took half an hour for police to arrive, but the local community rallied. Later on Sunday, the German Institute for Indigenous Health and Research senior researcher said it received a lot of support since the incident. An update on this police investigation. There is no update. They have not. The local New South Wales police have not found these alleged Eureka shirt Nazi skinheads attackers who basically vandalized Paddy Gibson's door and then left. So we shall see what comes of this. This incident follows when Andy Medic claimed that his daughter Ghislaine was attacked for political reasons when an argument ensued when she was spray canning over a anti-vax poster, threw the can at the man who was arguing with her, and he threw it back and hit her. That man, as I said last night, handed himself into police, clearly showing that it obviously wasn't a politically motivated crime if the person handed themselves in. So that is, well, the state of the legal trials and hearings and investigations. I've already gone over time. There were other things that other topics that I was going to go into, such as, well, the NT border opening on December 20, when, well, because the NT has reached 80% double vax. I don't know if that means that Michael Gunner is going to stop putting close contacts into the Howard Springs quarantine camp there. There is another round of freedom demonstrations in Melbourne on the weekend. So there is on Friday night the street side picnic takeover, anti-segregation picnic dinner at South Bank, where they're meeting at Batman Park. This is organised by the Vic Freedom Movement. That's a group led by Travis Thickens. There is no rally on Saturday. Instead, there is a Reclaim the Line, which is on Sunday at noon. So that is at Parliament House. So that is supported by also the Victorian Freedom Movement there. So obviously with the vaccine mandates and passports still in place in Victoria, there is still a lot of people locked out of everyday life, the same as in New South Wales until December the 15th, when the two-tiered society in New South Wales is going to be largely removed, with still vaccine passports were deemed high risk venues. So far, there hasn't been any further freak out in Australia over the Omicron variants. Whereas apparently there's 42 in New South Wales at the moment, and there's possibly 4 in the community here. New South Wales Health, they basically stopped doing these health alerts after every Omicron case in New South Wales. This is a doctored version of it, obviously, but you see the the scream emoji, the red exclamation mark, the skull and crossbones, and the out of control graph there. I noticed that there's a comment in the chat from Jussie Bell, a new host at Resolute TV. Sorry I didn't watch the whole show, Tim. I'm having issues at my house. They basically wrecked my marriage. I'm sorry to hear that, Jussie. I hope that you get your marriage back on track there. Thank you for all the regulars in the chat as always. It's we're both getting back into the groove of things. I'll be back tomorrow night with not the final Trad Tasman talk for the year, but the final with Douay de Boer. He can tell me what life is like in Auckland on the ground at the red light. Also, what it's like living in Auckland with all the gang shootings, and the gangs are going to have even more business in the future with Jacinda Ardern deciding that she is going to outlaw the next generation from buying tobacco cigarettes. And so obviously prohibition never works, and so you can guarantee that there's going to be a huge black market, and so that'll be more business for the New Zealand gangs over there, and probably more violence and shootings as well. What is it? What's their national anthem? God defend New Zealand, because it's certainly needs all the godly help it can get with, before pandemic lockdowns became the main nanny state control measure, outlawing tobacco cigarettes for young people. They were the nanny status wet dream. So I'll discuss that with Duo tomorrow night. Thank you everyone for watching. Keep checking out the unshackled.net for your Unshackled Productions archive, and also for the latest news and commentary. Good night, everybody. Tim's News Explosion. 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 Tim's News Explosion.